I grew up in Denmark, and I don't know, I think Denmark is a country that kind of, celebrates their architects a little bit, or in the sense that you grew up with an awareness, this and this building is from that and an architect, and this is the history of architecture, we learned about it at school and so on. So I think I had some influence, but like most other architects, I grew up with playing a lot with Lego, and I think there was probably this idea, you build things, you create things with your hands. I was always a very sort of creating child. I was always building stuff or drawing or whatever, so I feel that was kind of like a nice sort of meditation for me as a kid. And I think that just developed. But I never wanted to be anything else than an architect. It's very random. I don't have any other architects in my family, but I knew since I was a kid that I wanted to be an architect. That was just, and my parents always wondered where that came from or why it was like this. We have a few artists in the family, some graphic designers, art historians, and other people working with creativity in different ways, but this very specific thing that I wanted to do didn't come from my parents. A normal day, that's, I don't think we have a particularly normal day, because there's a lot of things. I mean, now we moved into this office a year ago, and what we took from the old office was we wanted to be on the ground floor, and we wanted to have everyone sitting on one table. So it took me a long time to find a space in Berlin that could accommodate that everyone sits on one table instead of being split up in different rooms or whatever. And I think this whole thing about being on the ground floor is we have all these people coming in and out. We get at the moment we build a lot with bricks also, and then we get all these deliveries of examples of bricks, like all these weird heavy things get in and out of the door all the time. We have to sort of look at it and touch it and put it into our archive and stuff like this. So I think it's quite lively here, and our clients are about, I think half of the projects we do are in Berlin or around Berlin. So these clients typically come here, the rest we do online. And it's a lot of talking, a lot of people in and out, and I think that's something I really appreciate. It's very lively. That's also why we choose to maybe have a little bit less square meters, but then be very central in Berlin, so we are reachable for people. I think a general thing that we like to work with a lot is materials that become more beautiful over time. Like, even when designing furniture, we kind of think in that time span of architecture. We build something, and if it doesn't last for 200 years, we made a mistake. We want things to stay for a long, long time. And working with materials such as wood or some of the copper or other things that we have in the background here, I think it has these nice abilities that the more you use them, the nicer they get. And that's a thought that we put into both furniture design and architecture. And I think the wooden floors in the houses we built, they will still look fantastic in many, many years, even when several families have lived there and used them all the time. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's a fantastic material. But it's also for many other reasons. There's been the last decade, there's been so much research going on with wood. We can now build high-rises out of wood that are still fire safe, and that's incredibly interesting. So it's just generally always, of course, interesting to work in a field where new things are coming, and development is happening. And I think with wood, surprisingly enough, it's an ancient building material, but it has just been in a way rediscovered after many years of concrete and modernism and so on. And I think, looking at sort of my age and the time that I graduated, I probably hit exactly that that time in history where this is happening. Right now, since a year, we have this problem that we are lacking the material. So everyone is looking to other materials. Unfortunately, none of them have exactly the same really, really good abilities in terms of sustainability. So it is still, and I think also we will return to building more with wood again when it's more available again, because it is a material that is, a part of a circle. We take it out, we use it, and take it out of nature. We use it in our buildings. When it's in our buildings, it doesn't get burned or anything, so it keeps the CO2 in it, makes room for new trees to grow up and so on. So it is still, the material with the best abilities that we can come up with. So I think we will get back to it again. We are still obviously building with wood. In the meanwhile, we just have to accept some waiting time and maybe some prices that are a little bit bizarre, but that is hopefully just a little parenthesis in history.